Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another chapter delve of My Hero Academia. We're working on chapter 5 today called Smashing into Academia. It is 20 pages long. It starts right here. At this point, I am very much forgetting details of the story. I mean, I understand that at this point of the story, as you can see from the break here, we're entering Act 3. I'm going to be using two different pattern methodologies going through this one. I'm going to be using the one that I have been using for the rest of this book right now, which is called the story spine. It's a very lightweight methodology in 8 parts, and I'll kind of go through it as we go. But in the description below, I started putting like what they represent and what to look for if you're following along, or if you want to pick up your own book and check things out and see if you find other things on your end. But I'm also going to be using my personal narrative patterns framework, which is very, very fine grained because I want to assess, basically I want to get to the point of assessing the entire volume at this point. It's an equation based framework that breaks things up into ratios. This volume is 190 pages long, so I put that variable into the breakdown, and we're at about page 130 here, which puts us at the tail end of Act 2 based on my framework. Now, taking the entire volume into context, at the end of Act 2, based on my patterns framework, we're going to be hitting a pattern that I call time of trouble, and in particular the schema called villain, triumphant, and epiphany. Now I'm going to make a speculation here because I do kind of forget what happens here, but I do know that he's still being tested. And so the speculation for this chapter is, of course, that he's going to have another moment where, and it's going to be one of the last ones, where he sort of has this crushing defeatist mentality. I'm just assuming that's what's going to happen right now. That's kind of in his character, but he has to overcome that. And I do believe that the villain triumphant for him right now, in the context of this volume, he's his greatest villain. It's his self-doubt, I think, is what I've picked up on. I mean, you get that usually in the very first chunk here. It's going to give you signals of what to look out for and what's going to be the theme of this particular story arc volume. I think the story arc kind of ended here, but I do think this is going to act like a resolution for the main bulk of the story. And then the epiphany, of course, the villain triumphant is like, he's going to be self-defeatist, he's going to give up, he's going to like potentially give up again, he doesn't know where to pull on the power. We know he has the power, so he can call on it, but he destroyed himself the one time, right? So now he's got that a bit of extra fear there, but of course he knows he can do it as long as that nurse is around who can like kiss him better. But the idea being that the epiphany is going to be, but he's going to learn something from that. And I don't think it's necessarily, and because I kind of forget, but maybe there's some sort of phantom knowledge still floating around there. But it's the idea that he's going to basically confront himself. And the epiphany is going to be like, hopefully, I hope, I'm going to look for it, where he has a better control of himself, of his emotions, of his ability to believe in himself, that kind of thing. So, with that out of the way, that's, again, I always go too long on the introduction, but I kind of like to get this because it's kind of a warm-up, because it's been like a few days now since I read this. I meant to do this all in one crunch, but I've been taking too long to do these. And now here we are again. Anyways, let's get started. I'm going to crunch into this, and I will bring you back as soon as I might as well talk about it now. Because we have the score breakdown here. So we have Tenya Ida. He's the overachiever, pretty sure. So he's got the villain score of 52 here. Now he doesn't got the most here, but he's got the second best. The first best, of course, goes to the bully character, Katsuki. Katsuki. I've been working on some pronunciation. Katsuki Bakugo. So he's got 77 points, but he's got no rescue points. So he's basically all in all the time. I mean, Tanya here still got 9 points from rescue, and that was because of that obstacle, right? Now there's other ones that you can almost tell the character from these scores, right? You have Izuku Midoriya. It is basically like the European is actually way better here for Midoriya. So Izuku here with 60 points, all rescue. So he's all about protecting people, but not really caring about himself. 0 points, or like his own gain. He cares about himself, but you know what I'm saying. So the 77 is, of course, Katsuki. He's all about himself. And then you have Tenya. He's also kind of like, he's all about just achieving. And so he's got the second place right now. And then we have the third place is with, oh boy, I don't even know what that is, but there's a lot of Tetsu. That's kind of, I just see that in repeat. I don't know what that is. We got a 4910. We got 47. We have who? The font is way too small, and now it's especially blurry on your side too. But it doesn't really fit in here, so I can't really read that. And it's 4710, so just under. Where does she fall? Ochaku Uraraka. Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay, so we have her. Where's Uchako Uraraka? We have 28 points here for villain. So I mean, she's got gravity control powers and all that. So she's kind of like, I don't know how much she can actually do to kind of be on the front lines, like as a kind of, I call them the brawlers or the scrappers, right? But she's got a 45er, so she's definitely in the support tier. So she's kind of, you can already see the kind of alignment between her and Izuku. Okay, so let me start reading. And to turn to the story spine real quick, because we are on the first page here, the idea of Once Upon a Time. So Once Upon a Time, I love the way Hero Academia has kind of set up its first pages. Its first pages are basically, because you think about these as weekly reads, right? So you come back after a week, and then in the first page it's going to give you, boom, it's a summary of the prior chapter effectively, and it just gives you kind of the beats to pay attention to that you're going to be carrying into for this week's read. And so I kind of like that. It's basically, they talk about Bakugo, where he's got 0 points from rescue, but he's in first place. But on the other end of the spectrum, we got Izuku, who has no points from the villain points, but has rescue points. So it gives you that juxtaposition right up front. And these two characters, of course, come right from the first page of this. So these are kind of like the characters that challenge each other, but maybe something extra develops here. But I like that they juxtaposition these right up front. And I'm getting super caught up on the first page already. But it's even interesting that they say that even though others have gone up against the gimmick in the past, it's been a long time since someone has taken them down. So despite him getting no points from villain points, as soon as he had to go in there to deal with the gimmick, he demolished it. But he's just as proficient with his abilities when you look at like the fact that he was able to take that thing down. And that the comment with Bakugo here is that he just keeps going, whereas everyone else has been slowing down. Bakugo keeps going. He's got like he's full of energy, or I mean, his own determination, right? Like he wants to be the best. So both of these really want to be the best. They want to be the hero. They want to be the All Might, but for different reasons. I mean, nearly disgusting details here. I'm not entirely sure why he keeps bleeding out of the mouth like this when he gets surprised or whatever. Splort. I mean, it's in black ink. It looks like blood spitting out of his teeth, man. Okay, so here we go. So we have every day. So the second part of the story spine, every day is Midoriya. He wants to be greater than his body can allow him. Then his body has the potential to allow him to be, I guess. It's the best way to put it so far. And we get by the third page that doubt I was talking about. So basically he learns that All Might, he had already applied to become a teacher at UA. He couldn't say anything because he couldn't say anything until it was public knowledge, but also the fact that he was searching for a successor, and so he figured that and so Midoriya knows that him being a teacher, he'd be able to choose from one of the students that already has like that raw talent to be able to contain the power of All Might. And here we go with the self-doubt, right? My body is broken after a single punch or kick. I just can't wield it. So there's our theme for this particular chapter. Not a surprising one. It's sort of been the theme for volume 1. It is him becoming a hero, right? So I mean, this is all about the hero's origin story and how to basically not only, I mean, he has the spirit now intact, but he has to develop the ability to actually wield the power that is almost at the level of his willingness of spirit. And so that's our everyday. Izuku being Izuku, he's going to self-doubt himself, and whether or not he's good enough to be able to wield something that could make him a hero like All Might, like his idol. So we're going to be looking for the but one day, and we're only on page 3, so we got some time to go. 8 parts, so 20 pages. That's about every 2 to 3 pages. We're basically going through one of these parts here, right? So I'm guessing after this page flip, we'll see what where this is leading for the event. So the Act 2, if you will. Ooh, I like that callback. That's a great callback of line. And I didn't catch it on my first read, but then I caught it in the last episode when I was, because the delving, man. Delving makes me find things. But for now, it's still all or nothing. And right there. I love literary callback. It's a great form of repetition of ideas. We have, of course, All Might, all for one power. Right before he does his first epic kind of kickoff of the power, he says all for nothing. He basically has a major moment of self-doubt here. Says it's all for nothing. But of course that triggers the All Might ability, and then the chapter ends and we get the callback here, and it's a subtle one, it's not a massive one, but I just, the word repetition comes up right away because of the all for nothing, and then All Might, and now for now it's still all or nothing, right? Great subtle repetition there, whether intentional or not. I mean, sometimes like scenes like this do throw me off. I mean, I think I get it. I think it's more like an idea visualized as these two chalices because they're talking about the vessel. So the more you temper the vessel, the better you control the power. But you know, you're in a scene here, and it's flowing. It's like, wait, are you making Midoriya a drink? Because that better be water or juice. Right? It's like, no, no, no. I think it's just symbolically, it's they're talking about the vessel because then up in this, and I haven't read this one yet, but like when passing the Olympic flame, oh, that's the whole spark thing, right? That came up. I brought that up in chapter 2 or something. So the new torch burns weakly at first, but the coming tests and trials will fan it. So it's more for ideas. I mean, they obviously don't have torches in this scene, but it does throw me off sometimes. There's a little bit of there's a gradient across the entire cell here, though. So panel. So I'm sure that's a visual cue there. I just have to kind of train myself to look for these sorts of visual cues. I did get called out on like I did get the heads up on like when there's like a black when the panel is black, that they're more like memories, that they're retelling memories. So that, I mean, it's something for me to look out for because that was throwing me off. So we got the page flip here and end scene. Of course, we got a space transition, time transition, and now we're going to go into an Act 2 setup here. So this is where it's going to set up like the B stories. We're going to get introduced to some characters or some concepts about just how he's going to interact with other characters. That's usually the kickoff of an Act 2. Exposition stuff, things like that, kind of like getting our bearings about like what is the story that he's about to enter, and that's going to be for the next 6 to 8 pages. I love that it called, and this began my high school career. High school is a career. And so he's saying bye to his mom. So he's going to high school, and only 1 in 300 applicants gets in each year or fewer. 1A. The place is huge. Only 36 students to a grade, divided into 2 classes of 18. Look at the size of this door. I wonder if that's for like characters with giant abilities. I don't know. I don't know. And of course, she's thinking about Bakugo, and I forget his name already. I haven't really officially learned it. I saw it right here, and I saw it by the score here. Tenya Ida, and I knew he wasn't Katsuki. Tenya. So here we go. Page flip. There we go. Already, it's the 2 characters that he wishes are just in another class. They're already going at it right off the bat. So what do we got here? Get the setup. Yeah, so he's all about honor. I mean, when I say overachiever, I'm not saying it disparagingly. I mean, am I going to do this? I forgot his name again. Jesus. I'll get it. Okay, Tenya. So Tenya is all about the honors. Like, basically, take your foot off the desk, jackass, because, you know, it's a dishonor to the people who've come here before. And he's very strict in that regard, and that's why I call him the overachiever. But, I mean, he definitely comes across with that. His design was a pretty solid design, because you could read it right in the design. It's all very proper. You know? Like, I care. What middle school are you from, you extra? Oh, no. What's an extra? They're both here. It's kind of like worse than a sidekick, just someone who shows up for like a what's it called, a guest appearance in a comic book. I'm from Somei Private Academy. Of course, it's a private academy. My name is Tenya Ida. Now we finally got officially introduced to Tenya Ida. Somei, a stuck-up elitist. Then I should blow you to bits. Calm down, Bakugo. You're awful. Do you really want to become a hero? So He's at least calling him out straight up. Oh, nice. I like the setup right here. So we got a bit of the conflict here, which is, of course, the conflict that also happens here. And so we have a 3-way kind of scenario dynamic going on here, which is pretty sweet. Because, you know, even these have sort of conflicts, right? With just their perception of success, maybe is how I would put it, right? Because he was thinking about the points, but he wasn't thinking beyond the points. And then, of course, he was only thinking about, well, not even the points. He wanted the points, but he was thinking about just the right thing to do. And so I do feel like there's a bit of, I don't know if it's even jealousy, but possibly like it might have come across as jealousy, but it's more like maybe like more of an honor thing, especially after this scene right here, because he sets up like, you know, respect those who came before. So I feel like maybe he understands that he's got something honorable about him, and maybe that's what he wants to discover. But I feel like that's a cool. I would love to see this relationship work out. So we have here, I'm from some private school, so he's shuffling past to kind of run into Izuku here. And I heard you before. I'm Izuku Midoriya. I'm Izuku Midoriya. Pleased to meet you. Now I'm saying it literally with like the European roll on the. It's not a. It's a re. Anyways, Midoriya. You. Yeah, but I can't say it like I'm playing Assassin's Creed or something. Midoriya. You perceive the true nature of that practical exam. So there it is. That was him kind of like doing that, that meme where you have like the equations are all going across his. That's kind of what I imagined was happening the prior chapter, whereas he was just like calculating, like, how did you get the punch? Oh, you got it. You looked through the practical exam. While I did not. There it is. Okay, so my subconscious still remember part of that after a month and a half or so. I had some sort of idea of like maybe that's kind of where that relationship was building and why I was calling him the overachiever. It's like that he's hard on himself because he feels like he should have. I misjudged you. I hate to admit it, but you were the superior candidate. Whoa. Well, that's an interesting thing right there. Again, it's a more about honor, right? Because we're looking at the scoreboard here. So we got Tenya here with 52 points. I mean, he is in second place in terms of, well, I think he's second overall. He's got 61 points. Yeah, he's in second. So even though he's in second place, he still feels like Midoriya. It still feels like Midoriya is it's the better candidate. So we have our class here. I guess the 16 main candidates, we're gonna see a lot more of them going forward. That curly hair, the plain looking boy. It's that nice girl. She's too cute in that uniform. It is a nice line work. That is great line work. It's so clean. Here, let me see if I can get there. That's a nice kind of focused image. Anyways, you got in just like President Mike said. President Mike. Makes sense. That punch was awesome. Smash. Making him poor Zuko all embarrassed, blushing. Now, I mean, it's got wavy curves there, but it does have like a tail on it. It's not like a thought bubble, so I'm fairly. I mean, he's saying this right. No, I mean, I have to thank you for speaking on my behalf. Okay, so he's definitely okay. So he's saying it out loud. It's not the thought bubble. He's just kind of like a wavy voice, like maybe he's nervous or something. And Bakugo, of course, being the bully that he is, takes him by the scruff. What dirty tricks did you use to do it, you quirkless twerp? Of course. Not only did it one-up him against the muck monster. What did I call him? It wasn't the muck monster. The grime monster? The goop monster? It was a monster. It was a person. Don't be rude. Thought I told you to go somewhere else. Grab. Yeah, but you already grabbed him here. You grab him again? Nope. That's the same hand. Just grabbed him tighter. Someone told me that I could become a hero. That's why I'm gonna be here no matter what. I love this. Hold on. He actually stood up to me. Saying it quietly. There's something fishy about this. Hey? It's just the fact that Bakugo's not even prepared for him to have something to say after he's picked him up by the collar, you know? He's not even prepared for him to have a response, but he has it. It's not like a violent response or anything like that. It's not a threatening one. It's just like someone told him he could believe in himself. That's why. Dummy. He actually stood up to me. There's something fishy about all this. So we got someone who's, potentially going to figure out the secret. Maybe that's a foreshadow. See where that goes. So we've got our entrance ceremony and guidance sessions today, huh? Yeah. Wonder what our teacher will be like. Boy, I'm nervous. Now, I don't know if I said it in the front of this chapter, but I thought there were more exams to take. No. That exam was to get into UA. Now he's in UA, and it's his first day of class. So maybe it's more like, how does he compare against the rest, like in actual action now? If you're here to socialize, then get out. What the hell? Oh, right, this guy. I remember loving this guy the first time, but I was that same confusion that came over me. But now I'm remembering who this guy is, which is why I'm chuckling. These will be blind. After this volume, these will be blind, so you'll get the blind reaction. Now you're getting a retroactive, like delayed response reaction. This is the hero course. There's someone, silence, in there. So he's in the sleeping bag. It's kind of like a cocoon. It took 8 seconds for you to quiet down. Lume. Is that idea of like the word being used again to just convey like a feeling, and then your brain kind of creates the ambiance, and it's not even a visual here, it's just like a sense, Loom. This is a precious resource. You lot aren't very rational, are you? Our teacher was in a sleeping bag? What the hell was our teacher doing in a sleeping bag in the classroom? So he's a pro hero too, but he doesn't look familiar, this haggard looking guy. I'm your homeroom teacher. Shota? Oh god, I'm going to do that again, aren't A new word. New name is going to mangle me. Shota. Aizawa. I'm going to go with that. Pleased to meet you. Homeroom teacher. Homeroom teacher? So I guess when it's in these kind of bubbles like this with the flare out, I guess it's like it's like anybody in the room, I suppose. Or maybe all of them. Homeroom teacher. Or is that just Midoriya? Things like that throw me off sometimes because I got the Western kind of conditioning, right? The way the bubbles work and all that. Anyways, quickly now. Change it to your gym clothes and head out to the grounds. I don't know how, I mean, he sounds like a guy who would actually say, like, speak very slowly, like, change into your gym clothes and head out to the grounds. Loon. Something like that. Anyways, where am I in the story spine? I got carried away, absorbed into this one. I must be close to the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, so here. Let's reverse. Check this out. 9, 10. So what do we get on the halfway mark? Our halfway mark is halfway through Act 2, right? And this is where we're in the middle of the because of that. I mean, it's the but one day he starts to school, but because of that, he ends up in the classroom with, two people that stress him out, which is, of course, Tenya and Bakugo, which is because of that, Bakugo challenges Midoriya, because how the hell did you get in here? You don't deserve to be here. And it takes us to the end of, or middle point of Act 2, which is this challenging moment here. It's like he understands he's here now. He deserves it. And so he's got a greater, he knows he has the power. So now he has to get control of the responsibility, and with that he's going to get the greater confidence. And now we're still in the because of that. So because of that, he gets introduced to his new teacher, which is part of the hero course. So he's a homeroom teacher, and he's going to get into his clothes. Do they call it uniform? And it's into his gym clothes. It's kind of like a gym class, right? They're going to be doing things and evaluating their potential, their power's potential, and being able to kind of train themselves to be able to control their powers and leverage them more effectively, etc., etc. So, and until finally, we'll get to the until finally. I mean, we don't have that much left here. I'm not going to look at the pages because I forget enough that I want this to be fresh. So we got 5 pages left. So we are until finally. So until finally, he has to prove himself. That's kind of where we're at until finally, and ever since then is going to be the last page or two. Okay, so here we go. Let me catch up here. So I don't know if that's going to be like, don't spoil me. If this is a subtle kind of point, but there's no real reason to point something like this out unless it's going to be meaningful for later. And so I wonder if something else is going on here, but I'll explain. We have Ochako saying, because at the beginning of this chapter, she's talking about there's going to be ceremonies and there's going to be a guidance session and stuff like that. So basically your first week, like Frosh week, effectively, right? But they're getting straight into it. They're just going to have their quirks tested and stuff like that. And so Chaku pipes up here and says, hey, well, what about the entrance ceremony or the guidance session? And the Loomer, what's his name? Loomer, Jesus. The Aizawa is like, there's no time to waste on that stuff if you want to become heroes. I wonder if that's like a foreshadow for volume 2 something, or maybe at the end of this and I forget that much. Anyways, UA is known for its freestyle education system that applies to us teachers as well. Softball throwing, stand-up long jump. So a bunch of like sports they're going to be doing here. Seated toe touch. You did all these in middle school, yes? Your standard no quirks allowed gym tests. This country still insists on prohibiting quirks when calculating the averages of those records. It's not rational. The Department of Education is just procrastinating. Bakugo, how far could you throw in middle school? 67 meters. Great. Now try it with your quirk. Do whatever you need to. Just don't leave the circle. Give it all you've got. Awesome. I'll add a bit of boom to this pitch. And then, whee! Whoa, why'd he say die? Good lord, man. Calm down, dude. Fa-boom. So into orbit it goes. How do we even measure that? It's important for us to know our limits. So this guy's all about just push it. Now, I guess the ball has some sort of way of measuring distance here. That's crazy. 705.2 meters. That's the first rational step to figuring out what kind of heroes you'll be. So what I'm saying is, like, I feel like they're preparing for something, or the teachers know, or something. There's like some other undercurrent thing going on, right? That's kind of nice. My volume 2 speculation, maybe. Anyways, let's keep going. So let me go back to my framework real quick. I have the last two patterns here for an Act 3, which we are in. I got 3 pages left. So we're definitely in the tail end of Act 3. And I've got 2 patterns called Final Showdown and Ascension. So Final Showdown is what it sounds like. It's going to be, I have one scheme in there called Minion Madness. Now, of course, the Minion Madness is like you just have groups of things happening. Of course, we've seen this right now. We have each of these characters it's the start of it, but it's going to be characters that are basically challenging themselves. So that's kind of your Minion Madness thing. It's just the kind of the story saying, look at all of these things now that are going to kind of stress out our hero, and then take the stressed out hero to the point where I got a schema called Secret Weapon and another one called All In. Now, Secret Weapon, of course, we know that Midoriya's is the All Might ability. All In here is he knows now we got his limitation here, right? Because he knows that he's going to mangle himself if he goes all in. So he can't go all in, right? And so we have the Ascension is the 3 schema in my Ascension pattern. It's Face Off, Out with the Old, and Resolution. And so Out with the Old for me is going to be, again, a personality thing more than a power thing. It's not going to be like old unpowered Midoriya becomes powered Midoriya. We already know he's a powered Midoriya, but we still have a Midoriya that is second guessing himself. So his challenge here, which we got in Act 1 of this chapter, was All Might saying you have to be able to control your power, like you have to kind of perfect the vessel, right? And you have to, and he's kind of showing him here like this, right? Like he doesn't have to turn the stone into dust, but he can, we don't see the progress of this, but he can just kind of do a crunch without actually shattering the stone. He turn it and just make some pebbles come off it, that sort of thing. So that's the challenge that Midoriya has to learn this chapter. It's how do you control the power to the point where you don't mangle yourself. You might bruise yourself, you might hurt yourself, but you don't mangle yourself. So it's the restraint, and that goes back to the Spider-Man pattern, right? Greater power, greater responsibility, greater confidence, right? It's his confidence in his abilities that needs to be in the Act 3 turnaround here, and then the Ascension will be him like realizing he can do it. And we're gonna get that next 3 pages. Let me just confirm that because I know maybe this does the whole cutoff cliffhanger, and then we're gonna learn that next chapter. But let's see. So until finally, Midoriya is up and he has to do something here. So you're hoping to become heroes after 3 years here. Loom. After 3 years here. I think that's pretty much like, you're hoping to become heroes after 3 years here. Loom. And you think it'll be all fun and games, right? The one with the lowest score across all 8 events will be judged hopeless and will be expelled. What? I'm Midoriya. So he immediately freaking out. What? This is bad, these events. Because he's the only one who can't go all in, right? So anyways, so we have the... Oh, see, that's not in a black screen there, but that's... Oh, is he... Oh, he's watching... Oh, sorry. This is teacher mode here. He's looking up the records of this other teacher here, All Might. So he's going to be Aizawa, huh? He's going to be nothing but trouble. Shota Aizawa. Codename Eraser. Eraser Hero. I forget. Can you erase things? How do I forget these things? It's been a month and a half. Good Lord, man. Has expelled 154 students. Oh, we got another callback. Textual repetition here. All or nothing. This is, I have a pseudo pattern called the mirror pattern, which in my kind of pattern, kind of assessment of things, you'll get something, and look how subtle I talked about how subtle it is, right? Well, we're getting this on 1, 2, 3 on page 4, and so the way that my pure mirror pattern works is it's almost a perfect balance of how deep into Act 1, and then the mirror will be that about that ratio, but from reverse. So from the end of Act 3 in, and then you're gonna have like this. It's either visual or it's an idea, or this one it's explicitly the text. It's like a narrative mirror pattern. So I'll pick up on these things because this is the one. It's kind of one of my most kind of. It's one of my favorite pseudo patterns that I've discovered across media. Right. So we have, for now it's still all or nothing, and then he goes all or nothing, and we're 3 pages away from the end. So it's almost a near perfect mirror pseudo pattern. I love it. I can regulate my power. I can't regulate my power yet. Your fates are in our hands. Welcome. This is the hero course at UA High. I don't know why I have to do that. That text gets so big. The trials of the first day. Oh, shit. Puts up his... Excuse me. I'm ready to fuck things up. Okay. What do I do? Okay, we might not... Oh, damn. It's the next chapter. God damn it, it's a cliffhanger. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with this. Do it next time. God damn it, I did it again. So it's yeah, until finally, I guess the until finally was somewhere around here. Well, he has to get tested, and ever since then, well, we don't have it. It sort of ends with a cliffhanger. And ever since then, we don't know. It's going to be a carryover. This is almost like a two-parter. Not almost. It is. Oh, you bastards, you got me. There are 2 bonus pages here. Well, not really. This is the first page of the next chapter. But let's look up Tenya Ida here. 179 centimeters. Favorite things: studying, beef stew, overachiever. Great, clear, clean design. Behind the scenes, a character created near the end of the serialization meeting. I was more surprised than anyone when he started heading in a completely different direction than anticipated. I think he's the character I enjoy drawing most. Ida's quirk originally belonged to a pro hero in early drafts, but after a bit of consideration, I gave it to him instead. I gave it to him. Go Ida. I don't remember his powers. So that's going to be fun to revisit. The next chapter is where we're going to learn how much Izuku Midoriya is going to be able to control his powers and constrain himself. And that challenge is all going to be in one. I mean, look at this. It's not that much, man. We only got 2 chapters left. I mean, the last 3 chapters almost feel like it's the send-off of Volume 1 into what the serialized story is now going to blow up into. Like, you know, I'm guessing that they kind of learn how successful this is being as this gets released. And by this point, I mean, they released the story, like this is your pitch, right? It's like the story that actually has like a beginning, middle, end. I feel like this was a solid story, but I'm still trying to recognize this as an Act 3. So maybe like an epilogue that kind of acts like an Act 3 from the volume perspective, but also like each chapter I do feel like has to have some sort of arc. And we do have one here, and I do feel like it gets bracketed in with this very subtle repetition of text here, all or nothing, right? All for nothing, all for one. And it's Midoriya having to come to terms with he has to find a way to control himself. Otherwise, he can't get mangled every time he tries to do something and be just in an attempt to be the hero. So next chapter, we're going to dig into that and learn some more about what that's all about, because I sure as hell forget. And so yeah, and with that, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You'll be notified when these videos get uploaded. Don't forget to like. Of course, liking a video will encourage me to come back faster. I am trying to be as efficient as possible. I'm still trying to work out a schedule for this. I did take the week off work, so hopefully I'll get this volume will get done for sure this week, and I will try to get them uploaded in a relatively decent time. And then from there, of course, we'll start reading Volume 2 blind. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy.